Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sounds like a full house and becoming impossible to take introduction. There's a lot of people on this call, so let's get this call underway. Once again, welcome to Straight Talk. This is our product-centered call that we do for Zija International each and every Wednesday with the formulator of our products, Mr. Russ Bianchi. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our guests who are online tonight. Tonight you'll find out as to why the Zija products are leading the way as a foundation for the fastest growing company today in network distribution, of course, changing many people's lives all over the world. And also, of course, welcome to all of our business partners from around the world. You may be asking the question, what's all the excitement about? Why are there so many people on this call, and what is Zija all about? And for good reason. Currently, Zija is leading the way in terms of growth as a company, as it relates to new people coming on board, both as customers and or as distributors. And the foundation of all of this excitement is our world-class products based on Moringa oleifera, a tree that grows in certain parts of the world, or botanical, if you will. And all of this came about as the direct result of a one-hour documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel a few years ago. This documentary featured this particular tree and was showing all of the benefits that this tree has to offer. It's really something unique in nature, and that is, it is the most nutrient-dense, nutrient-complete botanical on the planet. It basically has everything that the human body requires to sustain life, to maintain high-level wellness and vitality, as well as providing food for the hungry, reversing environmental damage, providing for a whole new range of pharmaceuticals. And this is why the Discovery Channel did a documentary on Moringa. Now, what happened was that documentary was recorded on a VHS video and handed to the founder of this company, Mr. Ken Brelzer. And when you know Ken's background, then we all understand the significance of him viewing that documentary. Ken was the co-founder of Nature's Sunshine Products in 1972, pretty well the first direct sales nutritional company in our industry, still in business today, some 40 plus years. He also founded Enrich International in 1985. Those two companies went on to spawn much of the nutritional direct sales industry area in terms of companies. Many of his former executives went on to create these companies. And so when Ken saw this documentary, he immediately saw what it could bring to the world, and Zija was born as a result of that and the vision that he had. Now, the big challenge was, how do you take Moringa in its raw state in nature and bring it to the marketplace for large-scale mass market distribution with efficacious products that taste great, that are effective, that are compliant, that are cost-effective, and so on. And that task was given to one of the foremost formulators in the world, a gentleman that's done many of these for many different brands, billion-dollar brands and beyond, and that is a gentleman by the name of Russ Bianchi, who is on the line tonight. Russ, always a pleasure, sir. As you can hear from all the beeps, we have another blockbuster call, and there's a lot of new people on this call, as roughly 10,000 people a month are coming on board with Zija, and so everybody needs kind of a little bit of profile and some of your background as a starting point. Maybe you could share what you do and why Moringa, why you chose this project in terms of helping Zija formulate the products that we have. Thank you, David, and good evening to everybody out there around the world, literally tonight. My name is Russ Bianchi. I'm the managing director, founder, and CEO of a company called Debt Solutions Incorporated. We're based in the Monterey Bay area of California. We do three things in the debt. We create, we convert, we stabilize. We do it in pharmaceutical and drug development, food and beverage, skincare and cosmetics, flavor chemistry and stabilization, chocolate and confectionery, functional dietary supplementation are the majority categories we deal in. As an example, if you've ever seen or perhaps consumed an energy bar in the world, we did the vast majority of successful brands in the marketplace today. That was a multi-billion-dollar market, shipped away from things like traditional breakfast cereal, fat-laden granola bars, and candy bars. We came to this project turning it down. We didn't want to be involved with it. There were only two reasons we decided to move forward. The first was the ownership, Ken Brailsford. He assured us that if we were to get to an efficacious product, that not only would the quality assurance and control be maintained, but the product's integrities would never be reduced, and he has absolutely kept that and far exceeded that in terms of qualitative results that are being delivered today by Zija International. So without Ken Brailsford, none of this conversation would be occurring. Secondly, the science was overwhelming. Literally for multiple decades, the pharmaceutical and drug industry had tried to use this plant and had failed in their model. We came to this not knowing whether or not we could do it. In fact, we thought the odds were exceedingly long. We failed 143 times with a team of scientists before we got there with a product that is not only fully bioavailable, but easy to use, affordable, if not free, in some of the referral models that are available from Zija. As a result, Moringa came into being with Zija. Okay, and Russ, there's obviously a lot of products out there that are good. There's a lot of beneficial products, but Moringa is in a category of its own in terms of what it has as a nutrient profile. What distinguishes it, and what distinguishes it in terms of within nature as a nutrition, a source of nutrition and many other benefits? Well, literally, David, there are dozens of varietals within the species, 10 degrees plus or minus the equator, in multiple upon multiple dozens of species around the world. There were no commercial supplies. There was no standardization to speak of. Zija International created all of that. But what's different about this? It literally has multiple hundreds of integers or nutrient values in it, naturally occurring, that can literally sustain life. There are major research, governmental, academic, scientific, pharmacological, and medical institutions all over the world, hundreds of them, attesting to the efficacious nature of the correct Moringa that only Zija International has. We used all the constituent parts that nobody else has ever done, which would include leaf puree, fruit puree, decayed cellulose fiber. But we're delivering hundreds of times all your essential vitamins and minerals, large levels of naturally occurring omega-3, 6, and 9 that aren't absorbable from fish oil, flaxseed, chia, seaweed sources, because if they actually worked from those sources, people would be getting well, and they're simply not. It is delivering 3 dozen naturally occurring anti-inflammatories, multiple dozens of antioxidants and anti-carcinogens, all the amino acids in their correct ratio sequencing percentage, 9 of which, by the way, are essential, and if your body doesn't get them, and certainly can't produce them, it's in trouble, and they all naturally occur in this plant. And in comparison to any other plant, any other sourcing, any other combination of sourcing, there is nothing that compares whatsoever empirically to the nutrient value being delivered by Zija. Now, we're nobody's doctor here tonight. We are not diagnosing, treating, preventing, curing, mitigating, or prescribing. But what we can empirically prove and can empirically tell you is if you give the body what it needs, it's the body that self-corrects. And for literally 4.5 decades, the food and beverage chains have been horrifically dumbed down. We're consuming more than double the calories we did even a few decades ago. We're receiving, depending on the category, up to 85% less absorbable nutrients. So we're overfed and we're undernourished. We're also heavily overdrugged. In only the last 20 to 25 years, we have seen drug use, prescription, over-the-counter, illegal, recreational, you name it, increase by over 400% per capita. It's absolutely pandemic. And drugs are designed to maintain slowly or rapidly degrade that cost over time. And just under the last 6,000 drug recruitment regulatory agencies in North America, the average number of adverse and harmful side effects up to and including premature death is about 70 per drug. The drugs are not the solution. Nutrition is the solution. Wellness is the solution. Or to quote Ben Franklin, a pinch of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We're delivering nutrients that are absorbed into the body that simply do not exist anywhere from anyone in any combination in any cost but Siege International. It is pretty amazing as to what's happened out there in terms of health and in terms of the number of drugs people are consuming. Why has nobody until Zija, we're first to market with a full line of moringa-based products. Why hadn't anybody found this or been able to bring it to marketplace? Great question. Invariably, the simplest answer tends to be the correct one. The correct form of moringa first had no commercial supply. Secondly, to consume it, it's got to be in its natural state, which Zija has achieved and no one else has, in a bulk pharmaceutical processing plant to control airborne yeast, mold, bacteria, fungal, viral cross-contamination without, cooking the thing to death or acidifying it or denaturing it. But also, we had to overcome what it does in nature to protect itself with its nutrient density. It tastes really, really bad and smells worse. And if you put some of our raw moringa in your mouth, you would immediately spit it out and be trying to wash your mouth out for the next half hour. The bottom line is it protects itself in nature from being devoured by insects or animals because of its nutrient density. After 143 failures in a team of scientists, we finally, by trial and error, got to what Zija has and no one else does. Well, it's obviously been pretty amazing over these last few years as we've exploded across not only North America now as we're moving into other parts of the world. Let's talk about our specific product divisions. We have our peak performance division, our weight management division, and of course our personal care line with the Gen M skincare line. Why don't we start with peak performance and talk about the components that make up that product configuration and what it does for people who are very active and who want to maintain peak performance. Sure. We started with a base formula of moringa, and literally when we first started it was in a can. Now it's available in the smart mix and our new and improved super mix. I personally use the super mix. It's delivering a lot more moringa for better results. It's the best buy for the money. But we have also done a sports drink, which we still have, XM3, ready to drink right now. I've never really formulated an efficacious sports drink. And if we look at the sports drinks in the market out there, the ones that claim energy or power or something like that, David, they're horrible. They're full of lethal levels of anhydrous synthetic chemical caffeine, carcinogenic sweeteners, colorants, acidulants, flavorances, taurine and guarana, which are known to cause cancer and birth defects, B6 and vitamins rendered from the intestines of pigs and slaughterhouses. Who should be drinking that stuff? Bad guys and criminals and terrorists. They're really bad. In fact, they're being legally attacked right now by governments because they are so horrific to outcomes in terms of wellness. We did a real sports drink that delivers a real kinesiological sports energy, sustained blood glucose, no hypoglycemic drop-off, which means sugar crash, no lactic acid buildup, no cramping, feeding slow and fast twitch muscles, feeding the ability of the body to perform to its peak. And as a result of that, we then had the XM Plus, and then on top of that, we decided to do a meal replacement with our Prime 90. You know, David, moringa is the highest protein source of plants known to science. More than double that is soy that folks are familiar with. And now soy is genetically modified along with corn, which is genetically modified, proven to cause cancer. So if you're eating soy or corn, avoid it. It causes cancer. This is proven. This is not up for debate. The documentation is at rustbeyondme.com. The bottom line here is we use real moringa protein. We delivered a delicious vanilla and chocolate shake in powdered form ready for your use. It delivers 20 grams of protein per 27 gram serving, which is the maximum our body really can truly absorb if bioavailable. And is our protein profiling available versus caseinates and isolates and hydrogenation and acidification and all those nonsense powders that constipate one finds in retail bodybuilding stores? The answer is Prime 90 is in a class all by itself. So for peak performance or fitness, do we deliver what no one else has? The answer is an emphatic yes.
Let's talk about one of the most popular lines in terms of high-impact results that have changed many lives and really been the catalyst for a lot of growth in our business, and that is the weight management system. Obviously, there's a huge problem out there, and maybe we can talk a little bit about the problem first. Why is it that with everything that we've got, all our advancements, we've become generally speaking, an overweight society, and people have the problem has gotten worse as the decades have gone on. What's happened?
Well, without being sarcastic, I would have to use the slogan, and I don't mean it rhetorically or literally to anyone. I mean it factually. It's the food chain stupid. Literally, one of the major medical schools not long ago proved that one 12-ounce soda, not even a 16-ounce can, David, one 12-ounce soda once a week will lower intelligence quotient between 30 and 50 points in 6 months. Now, that's about mental acuity, but the growth of the nations has expanded also because we dumbed down the food chain. First, we told you whole raw milk from a grass-fed cow that had been fine and fresh for 10,000 years wasn't good for you. And then we told you to drink 1%, 2% skim, reduced low fat and fat-free, and your body didn't have the fat to keep the balance of hormones in your brain correct, and you started gaining weight. Then they lied and said, oh, check out the specialty items, the yogurt, the premium ice creams, the novelties, etc., and the parts became more valuable than the whole. Then they took a Japanese patent, ripped it off, and they substituted it with cattle feed, and they created high fructose corn syrup, which is known to cause obesity, cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, hypoglycemia, diabetes, hypertension, depression, and obesity. It's a synthetic molecule, man-made, it's never existed before, and it is a major problem because after air, water, and salt, the next least costly thing to bulk with for profit is high fructose corn syrup or glucose fructose in other nations as it's labeled there. And therein lies the problem. We're a fast-paced world. We're on cell phones. We're constantly moving. 2 out of 3 meals in most societies are not even eaten or prepared at home anymore. And we don't even know what we're eating. So we've seen from the mid-1960s in North America as an example, perhaps 1 out of 50 or 60 people with a weight issue. Today we're 7 out of 10 are
seriously overweight or morbidly overweight. We've seen very rare instances of people being insulin dependent and a quote-unquote sugar diabetic in the 60s to today where 1 out of 3 has major blood glucose or diabetes issues. And it's all a direct result of sugar-free, low-fat, fat-free, reduced fat, and harmful things like high fructose corn syrup. Now, diets don't work. For 42 years, we've heard about magic, kumbaya weigh-in sessions, phony new and improved point scales, celebrities on TV, meals that were shipped to your house that, in point of fact, the packaging tastes better than the food inside. And nobody lost any weight. As a matter of fact, 7 out of 10 have a major weight issue. So they didn't work. We decided to do something different. We're not a diet. We're a system that would prove that it results 100% of the time if used correctly. And basically, we deliver to you real nutrients from the most nutrient-dense botanical of the correct variety that nobody else has from Siege International. That's moringa. We then give you a morning or afternoon capsule that will trigger leptin in your brain. You're not hungry. You're what we call satiated, and you burn body fat instead. There's a problem with that, though. If you burn body fat, you release toxins that are stored in the body fat. So then we give you a detoxification tea, whose base actually was a Ken Brailsford Master Herbalist formula that moringa was added to. And it's a combination of those 3 components that allows anyone to lose all the weight they want, not just initially, David, but permanently. This company expanded over $100 million in less than a year on a simple referral distribution question. Might you happen to know someone who'd like to lose some weight permanently at little or no cost? That's a pretty powerful question, because 7 out of 10 do, and the other 3 know someone. So that's 10 out of 10. They're going to be very interested.
Well, and that's really been a huge amount of our growth, is the fact that people have lost weight. They've done it quickly. They've done it effortlessly. It's not a diet. And most importantly, they've kept it off while getting good nutrition. In terms of growth and growth potential, a lot of the questions that I've been asked recently is that the growth of the company now is quite exponential. How is Zisha prepared in terms of product supply, redundancy, farms, and so forth, to make sure there's the raw material to support hyper growth and ultimately $1 billion company?
We have $2 billion worth of capability on the floor right now, both in supply and state-of-the-art above pharmaceutical grade production. There is no volume that anyone listening to this phone call tonight or their group can throw at Siege International that will not be handled seamlessly and immediately. I defy you, anyone listening tonight, to try to outstrip our production capabilities. We were prepared long ago because of Ken Brailsford, Rod Larson, Mike Hirschberger, Ryan Palmer, Jerem Dastra, Dr. Joshua Plant, Sherry Cutler, Whitney Davis. The list goes on that I got to see and have the privilege to work with today here in Salt Lake City before I head on to Walnut Creek, Ohio tomorrow for a huge meeting there on Friday and Saturday. And the bottom line is this: there's no volume that we can't handle. I build $1 billion brand. I was trained to do that 3.5 decades ago. And globally, David, we're open and ready for business in Europe, both Eastern and Western, United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, the United States, Mexico, Central and South America, the Caribbean, Australia, New Zealand, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia. The list gets longer and longer by the day. This is a global entity that is growing at exponential rates and allows to trip anyone, anywhere in direct referral sales. And not only will be a third legacy company of Ken Brailsford, he said himself it will do more than the other 2 combined, which I think it already almost has. And it will be a multi-generational asset for all the distributors or potential distributors listening tonight, that literally your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will benefit from, because of the integrity of the ownership, the integrity of the management, the integrity of the talented independent distribution teams out in the marketplace today with ultra-quality products.
Well, Russ, I can tell you, it's amazing what we're seeing on the field. People are achieving success faster today than we did over the course of a year. People are doing what we did in a year. They're doing it in a month. They're doing it in 2 months, and a few even quicker. And ultimately, it's all about the strength of the product. And obviously, if people get great results, they will naturally tell other people. And through that process, our customer base is built. How about a little bit of futuring? We got convention coming up in just a few months. What's on the horizon, or maybe you could say it this way: what is the potential for Moringa itself in terms of expanding the product line as time goes on?
We haven't even touched what we potentially have on board. I was with Dr. Joshua Plant today at corporate, charting out new things that are coming soon, and you'll be hearing announcements as that is strategically decided by Ken and Rod. And there is a lot more to be done. We are the Moringa company, and we haven't really even touched the surface of the potential of what this plant can do in so many different categories. So will you be seeing literally many, many, many more Moringa products coming? You can count on it. You can bet on it.
Oh, wonderful. Russ, always a pleasure. And look forward to seeing you at one of the up-and-coming events over the next few months. Thanks for all that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new on the line tonight and you're just kind of getting your